yourself if you believe there's someone who walks through life with you. You'll never be alone. Just learn to reach out and open your heart. Lift up your hands to God, and He'll show you the way. And He said, cast your burdens upon me, those who are heavily laden. Come to me, all of you who are tired of carrying heavy loads. For the yoke I will give you is easy, and my burden is light. Come to me, and I will give you rest. When you feel the world is tumbling down on you, and you have no one that you can hold on to, just face the rising sun and you see hope, and there's no need to run. Lift up your hands to God, and He'll make you feel alright. And He said, cast your burdens upon me, those who are heavily laden. Come to me, all of you who are tired of carrying heavy loads. For the yoke I will give you is easy, and my burden is light. Come to me, and I will give you rest. And He said, cast your burdens upon me, those who are heavily laden. Come to me, all of you who are tired of carrying heavy loads. For the yoke I will give you is easy, and my burden is light. Come to me, and I will give you rest.
Please remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem.
My dearest Jappy, this last few days has been surreal. I still feel that you are here with me, especially in my dreams. Thank you for an amazing 30+ years of togetherness. Thank you for the unconditional love you've shown me and the entire Joaquin clan. When anyone needed your advice, you so willingly gave it. I'm grateful that you served as a role model for all our children, Ollie, Barbs, Nino, Richie, and Steph, of kindness, compassion, living your life for others, and integrity. For me, I thank the Lord for bringing us together, two people with flaws, but with a desire to be the best version of ourselves in the eyes of God. In you, I found the true meaning of soulmate. God reigned supreme in both our hearts, and this is what cemented our strong bond, the three of us in the relationship. God was always the arbiter, the peacemaker, the buffer. And with our strong personalities, God was working full-time. I loved your curiosity, your thirst for knowledge, which you satisfied with books and educational programs. With your incredible mastery of almost everything, from astronomy, the animal and plant kingdom, the environment, the world and Philippine history, philosophy, politics, even ancient mythology, and your desire to share it, we never ran out of topics to get excited about. I must admit that we were so different. How we were raised, our religion, our interests, and our personalities. But that just made for a more interesting partnership. The love became the motivation to adjust to each other and come up with a workable arrangement, especially in how we spend our day. Though I am a more social person, we agreed that we would both be home for the sacred happy hour at 6 p.m., which we now know as Jappy Hour. This is our time to unwind, to share stories of how our day went, and to toast the beauty of the sunset and just appreciate God's creation, which you perfectly captured with your camera. When you started to suspect that the cancer had recurred, you said that the Lord has blessed you with 10 bonus years, and you were ready to go if He called. The 73 years of your life on earth was full of accomplishments. But what mattered most is that when you came face to face with your Creator and He asks you how many of His lambs you had fed, the answer will meet His approval. So rest in the peace of the Lord, my dearest Jappy. To take a verse from 2 Timothy 4, which truly applies in your life. I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. For those who are with us today, either here or in Facebook Live or YouTube, I thank you very much for celebrating the life of Perfecto, Jun, Jappy, Yasay with all of us.
Perfecto Rivas Yasay Jr. For most of us, he is best remembered for being the one who institutionalized reforms in the Securities and Exchange Commission of the Philippines. Protection of investor confidence was his utmost priority as the chairman of the SEC from 1995 to 2000. But after his stint at the SEC, this humble boy from Kidapawan basked in what he loved most, away from the limelight and being with his loved one. It was only after his college roommate and longtime friend Rodrigo Roa Duterte's ascension to the presidency that brought Yasay back to politics when he was appointed as DFA Secretary.
30 minutes before he announced that he was going to appoint me as Secretary of Foreign Affairs. I was in Bacolod. I got a call from Mongo, and sabi niya sa akin, Sir, gusto daw i-announce ni Presidente na kinukonsider ka for DFA Secretary. I told Bong na I am not in a position to to really accept that because I have already retired. I just came back out from retirement, but my intention was just really to take it easy. Sinabi sa akin na, maski na 1 year lang.
Yasay may have had a colorful political career, but for this humble man, it has been more fulfilling to touch the lives of many away from the cameras and spotlight.
As a David fighting Goliath.
Today, we celebrate the life of Perfecto Jun Yasay Jr., who for 73 years left an indelible mark to the hearts of so many he crossed paths with.
I am deeply saddened by the passing of a great person, my dear friend, former Secretary of Foreign Affairs, Perfecto Yasay Jr. I have known Jun since our days in law school, and through the years I have seen him as an epitome of brilliance, selflessness, and compassion, values which he often demonstrated in both his personal and professional life. Truly, his was a life worth emulation. Allow me to extend my deepest sympathies to the family and friends during this period of mourning. I also join you in heartfelt prayer for the eternal repose of his soul.
Thank you, Madam Cecil Joaquin Yasay, for your beautiful message. And we would also like to thank President Rodrigo Roa Duterte for his message as well. Let us now take a moment to also listen to a few words from the other people who have sent messages to dear Secretary Jun Yasay in the public sector and in this administration, of course.
My deepest condolences to the family of DFA Secretary Perfecto Jun Yasay. Kaibigan po ito ni Pangulong Duterte, magkasama sila noon at napakahusay public servant, chairman, hanggang naging secretary po siya ng Department of Foreign Affairs. Nakasama ko rin po ito. Napakabait at napakatalino. Nakakalungkot man po, siya'y pumanaw na, subalit yung alaala niya ay nandiyan pa rin po dahil napakagaling po at napakabait ni Secretary Jun Yasay. May you rest in peace.
I and my wife Louie are joined by the men and women of the Department of Foreign Affairs in bidding farewell and honoring a patriot, a nationalist, a true public servant, a distinguished Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and, above all, and this is the highest distinction, a fighter for the freedom of Filipinos. Secretary Jun Yasay served as Secretary of Foreign Affairs from July 2016 to March 2017. A relatively short stint, but a very symbolic and meaningful one. He was the first Secretary of Foreign Affairs of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. As such, he was at the forefront of the journey for change under the current administration. Even at that early stage, he not only carried the President's message of change, but also the assertion of an independent foreign policy. He never wavered in his dedication to public service. I have learned that when he was asked 30 minutes into the announcement, he accepted and took on the enormous responsibility of Secretary of Foreign Affairs. It was in that capacity that he said to me in a TV studio, "Dad, go to the United Nations." I said, "No, I'm too old." The next time we met, he repeated the offer. Then I was called to the President, to whom no one says no. I greatly benefited from Jun's guidance as I navigated the troughs and crests of multilateral diplomacy in New York. I owe Jun. This doesn't begin to pay him back. As representative of President Duterte in the 11th Asia-Europe meeting held in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, in July 2016, Foreign Affairs Secretary Yasay cited the Philippine government's plan to implement a wide range of reforms, from accelerated infrastructure spending, progressive tax reform, easing the way the Philippines does business, to improving social protection and investing in human capital. The summit was the first international engagement of the then new head of the Philippine Foreign Service. On his maiden appearance in the international scene, Secretary Yasay highlighted the administration's efforts aimed at strengthening the economy, promoting business and investor confidence, and ensuring that the needs of the people are addressed. He admitted the job is not the easiest in government, but he had served as chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission from 1995 to 2000, so he was just being modest. With all his talent and promise for private practice, he remained committed to public service. Jun Yasay accepted the nomination of the Bangon Pilipinas Party to be its vice presidential candidate in the 2010 Philippine elections. All throughout his career, he hurt no one and helped everyone he could. Wherever he passed, he left a good feeling around him. He had the quality of unfailing kindness and of a kind of deep understanding that made him forgiving. Currently, here at the helm of the department he once served, I am envious of and inspired by his qualities, but not always able to live up to them. Goodbye, my friend. I see your smile.
It was in our early years in law school when I came to know Jun. We were together at the dormitory, the YMCA in Manila, where we shared a lot of things, but not necessarily in common. You know, we belonged to a gang of 5 of notoriously naughty law students of San Beda, UP, and Ateneo, housed at the most popular hostel at the time. I remember we would prick into and open the kitchen stock room of YMCA for its food inventory whenever we would run out of allowance. We enjoyed doing that. In between pouring on our lessons from school, we loved to peek into the neighboring Philippine Normal College for beautiful ladies. Of course, Jun was part of all those indecency and misbehaviors. But I tell you, among the gangmen, Jun was the most decent and behaved. From his fair conduct during our college, Jun was a decent and a very dedicated public servant that he was known to the people. I am indeed privileged to have known Jun as a person and as a dear friend. How I wish I could again thank him for the friendship and the life he shared with our YMCA gang. And I likewise thank Jun's family for sharing him with our people.
Aloha. It is with a heavy heart that I celebrate the life of Perfecto Jun Yasay. Jun was an exceptional individual, a man of integrity and honesty, and it was fate when I first met Jun 8 years ago. He immediately took me under his wing and inspired me with his wisdom and counsel. He gifted me with his authored works that enabled me to learn and admire him and his accomplishments. I found that we shared a lot in common as public servants. You know, Jun even selected a slogan for my congressional campaign using my initials, DMK. Dakila at minamahal na kababayan. He said it meant great and beloved. He also said he selected it because it described me. But as I think on this, I truly believe that it describes Jun and his life. He was great, a great, bold leader, and beloved by all who knew him. It was through Jun that I met his life partner, Cecile, and I immediately hired her to work for me as my legislative aide when I was Senate President. When someone with so much to contribute is taken from us too soon, he leaves an enduring legacy, and we mourn his loss. I'd like to conclude with a favorite passage. There are some who bring a light so great to the world that even after they have gone, the light remains. I'm grateful that Jun lit a light in my life with his guidance and support. I extend my heartfelt condolences to Cecile and the Yasay family and to everyone who loved and admired him as much as I did. Jun, aloha.
Let us also please listen to a few more words from other friends of Sec Jun Yasay.
I'll always remember Jun as a man who fought for what was right. That was his DNA. He stood firm for principles and causes he believed in. For example, he fought the dictatorship during the Marcos era. He struggled against corruption when he was chair of the SEC. And he battled for independent foreign policy when he was Secretary of Foreign Affairs. I voted for Jun in 2010 when he ran for Vice President, but leave it to the electoral system and the voters to select the wrong candidates. Enough said. I'm going to miss Jun. He was a lot of fun while golfing under the sun with President Ramos at Camp Aguinaldo, while I took care of gulping under the shade. Cecil, our sincerest condolences to you and your family, and our prayers for inner peace and strength. Jun, rest in peace. Enjoy your reunion with Tina and Ed, and use your connections up there to make things right in our country. See you on the other side.
A renowned poet and writer once said that you will forget what people say, you will forget what people do, but you will never forget how they made you feel. I'm sure you will never forget how Jun made you feel, in the same way that I will never forget how he made me feel. He was a dear friend, a good man, a family man, a legal luminary, a dedicated public servant, and a man of God. He will be missed by so many, including me. We've spent so many great times in the golf course I can never forget. He was a very good golf player, and at times we'd spend hours enjoying a nice bottle of wine and talk about the good days and talk about plans for the future. Because Jun always had a vision for what the future should be. Goodbye, Jun. We will miss you very much.
My sincerest condolences to Cecil and family, and prayers for our dearly beloved Jun Yasay. Jun Yasay was a bosom friend. We were classmates during our senior year at the evening section of the UP College of Law in Diliman, batch of 1972. We were both working students during the daytime. He was an excellent speaker. Together, we played the role of special prosecutors during our classroom mock trial in our class subject of practice court trial. Our friendship continued after passing the bar and becoming lawyers. Jun is the godfather of my firstborn son, who is now a doctor in medicine. Jun and I saw a lot of each other every time I was in New York, where he was a practicing lawyer. He drove me around the beautiful places in the city and was treated to lunch and dinner. One night, while driving around the city, Jun told me that you can tell from the outside if a Filipino family lives inside a lighted home because Filipinos prefer to use white light bulbs, whereas Americans use yellow light bulbs. Jun and I have the same birthday. Jun returned to the Philippines after martial law. Again, we saw a lot of each other. I attended the launching of a book he wrote. I saw June last year for the last time at the birthday blowout dinner given by a classmate. He looked well and very happy. June was a Facebook friend. Goodbye, dear friend June. Eternal peace in heaven. Thank you.
It is with deep sorrow that my dear friend and my compadre, Attorney Perfecto, Jun Yasay Jr., had joined our Creator. The long years that we were together gave me opportunities to learn more. Being with him had been years of inspiration, joy, laughter, and sometimes sadness. I know that his passing shall not put in oblivion the good things and events he was associated with. What he was, what he did as a person, an activist, a politician, a government servant, an official, and as well-known, bright lawyer. He is imprinted in our history, having had a stellar profession and career. I will miss you, pare, and will not be forgotten, and will forever be in my mind and heart.
In his lifetime, Secretary Yasay never wavered in his love for his beloved Philippines. And as we celebrated Independence Day last June 12, we also celebrated Secretary Yasay's coming back home. Let's now listen to a beautiful song by Anthony Costello.
I originally wrote this song for President Rodrigo Duterte, inspired by the President's deep and undying love for the Philippines. This time I'd like to dedicate this in memory of our very dear Secretary Jun Yasay, a genuine Filipino patriot, a dedicated public servant, and a dedicated family man. Cecile, this one is for June. Minamahal kita, o bayan ko, Pilipinas. Sinisikap kong mabigyan ka ng bagong bukas. Iniibig kita, dinadalangin ka. Ang buhay ko'y alis sa'yo, minamahal kita. Sumasapit ng hating gabi, bayan kong sinilangan. Mga patak ng luha mo'y aking pinunasan. Iniibig kita, dinadalangin ka. Ang buhay ko'y alay sa'yo, minamahal kita. Ika'y minakay ko sa iyong bawat hakbang. Tinuro ko sa'yo kung saan tamang daan. Saan man ako maparoon sa puso ko, ika'y naroon. kita'y pinasasalamatan na ikaw ay napaglingkuran, ginuhit ng tadhana, simula tulong silangan hanggang apat na sulok ng mundo, ika'y ganangin. Dakila ka, o bayan ko, Pilipinas, tahanan ng mga bayani mo lumipas. Iniibig kita, pinaglalaban ka, ang buhay ko'y alay sa'yo. Mahal kita, iniibig kita, pinaglalaban ka, buong buhay ko'y alay sa'yo. Minamahal kita.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Castello. Secretary Yasay has positively touched the lives of countless people. He was a friend to many. And to reiterate the line of Secretary Teddy Locsin, he has hurt no one and has helped everyone he could. Let's hear more from what his friends have to say.
At this point in our lives, it is sad that Jun has left us sooner. It was a short-lived life, and we stay here as his friends. And we choose to remember important things that Jun has left with us permanently in our hearts and minds. One, he has the fidelity of a friend. Two, he has the integrity of a professional. Three, he has patriotism, and he brings honor to any position he holds. So we remember for his faithful friendship. We remember him for his integrity as a professional, defending his stand as a lawyer. And we remember him for his honorable stay in the Department of Foreign Affairs and earlier at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Jun is a very rare person. He's a faithful friend, yes. He has integrity. Walang masamang tinapay kay Yasay. Secretary of Foreign Affairs Locsin said he harmed no one. He did not say anything against anyone. But sure enough, Jun, as a man of conviction, Jun is committed to higher causes and higher goals. Jun shall be remembered. I know. Cecil will remember him as a faithful husband, supportive husband. His children will remember him as one they can be proud of for his higher ethical standards, devotion to higher causes. They will be proud of him because stories will be told and retold about Jun. So I left this word with them. As far as all of us, his friends, he will forever be our friend. As for Cecil, we commit ourselves to support you, Cecil, in your advocacy here, and we'll be around. And to the children, we wish you all the blessedness, the blessings of being the children of a man who is upright, a man of his word, a man respected by so many, a man of honor, a man whose love for friends, whose love for his loved ones, his wife, his children, is immeasurable. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Joe Halbuena. I am married to Lindy Joaquin, the older sister of Cecile. Jun Yasay, whom we fondly called Jappy, was the brother I never had. I met Jappy in the early 80s. That was when he started to court Cecilia. Our friendship spans almost 40 years, and I know that we continue to be united in spiritual brotherhood, even as he transitioned to a new life last June 12.
My family and I owe a deep debt of gratitude for Jappy's help. For this, we are forever grateful. This story illustrates Jappy's trademark brilliance, his generosity, his courageous and indomitable spirit. He never flinched from a challenge. There was no mountain too high, too daunting for him to climb. But he was the type of guy who would not just climb a mountain by himself. He raised everyone together with him. He was happiest when he was sharing his blessings with others. As he is now raised up himself to everlasting life, I know that he will not rest until he is able to help us all in our journeys. And when the time comes when we will have to leave everything behind in this world to move to our permanent residence, Jappy will be there. Till we meet again, Godspeed, Jappy, my brother, my pards. Amen.
As I bid farewell to my good friend, I would like to thank the Jun and the Yasay family. Thank you, and aloha. Bye, Jun.
You are extraordinary, Manjun. You've made important achievements in life, which I don't even have to mention. Faye and I would rather remember you as the simple, fun-loving, thoughtful, real and true friend, Jun Yasay.
Emil is right. We will always remember Jun as a true and real friend. I would always remember Jun as a fun-loving person, always over a table of food with Cecil, Manny, and Joey. During those times, I forget that he was once the SEC Commissioner and the DFA Secretary. But I want it to be like that. I want to remember Jun as a real, sweet, loyal friend. May you rest in peace, Jun. We love you.
Bait po, sobra. Hindi niya kami tinuring katulong, as in, tinuring niya kami kadugo lang. Si Sir, sa sobrang bait niya, halos ipahiram na lang niya yung apelyido nila sa amin. Ganon niya kami tinuring bilang pamilya at hindi ibang kasambahay.
At hindi lang ako ang minahal niya bilang kasambahay niya, pati mga anak ko, pati asawa ko. So yan ang masakit sa akin. Sana, kung maaari nga, sa totoo na ayaw kong makita na hindi nawala sa isip ko na siyang nawala na. Buhay na buhay siya. Parang hindi ko siya tanggap eh. Sabi nga niya, ayaw niya nakikitang naiiyak ako. Kahit na sabihin ko na hanggang sa masakit na itong huli. Ang sinasabi niya sa akin, Manang, nag-alala ako sa iyo. Mamamatay na lang siya kapakanan ko pa rin iniisip niya. Dahil sinasabi niya sa akin, pagbuwan ko ng pinto, Manang, kumusta ka? Ang sagot ko sa kanya, mabuti, nag-alala ako sa iyo eh. Ang sagot ko sa kanya, mas nag-alala ako sa iyo. Kaya kahit anong gawin mo, gusto ko gumaling ka. Alam niya, mawawala na siya. Kahit anong sabihin ko sa kanya. Kaya gusto niyang tumayo. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, huwag ka nang tumayo. Ako nagagawa. Ang message ko sa kanya, kahit saan ka man naroon, alam mo yan, na hindi kita pwede kami kalimutan. Siya ang inspirasyon ng mga anak ko eh. Ikaw lang, Jun. Kaya kung ano sasabihin mo, lalo-lalo na sa bunso ko, si Romel, nagka-cancer din. Kaya naniwalay na magpapagamot siya dahil lang yun sa advice mo. Ikaw may sabi sa kanya na magpapagamot ka eh. Dahil kaya niya. Kung kinaya mo, kakayanin din ng anak ko, kakayanin niya. Ang sakit sa akin. Nabigla na lang ako na wala ka na. Kung maaaring nga ayaw kong pumunta sa ospital dahil gusto ko makauwi ka. Nag-chat pa ako sa iyo eh, di ba? Sayang lang, hindi mo nabasa. Alam ko hindi mo nabasa kasi sabi ko sa iyo, magpagaling ka sa ospital. Hanggat hindi ka gumaling, huwag uuwi. Yung pala uuwi ka, nawala ng hininga. Nasasaktan ako. Sakit sa akin. Sana nandun ka na sa langit. Gabayan mo pa rin kami dito. Si Cecil, si Steph, kami lahat. Alam ko eh, kahit masama ang loob mo, nakangiti ka pa rin. Ikaw ang taong nakikita ko na kahit masama na loob, nakangiti pa rin, nakatawa pa rin.
It is once again a sad day for the country of the Philippines and the rest of the Filipinos in the world to lose a great man such as Jun Yasay. Once again, my name is Roland Casamina from Honolulu, Hawaii, along with my wife Evelyn, saying a farewell message to Jun and the rest of his family. And once again, the short amount of time that you spent here in Hawaii made such a great impact to many of us here. And I certainly will miss the golf outings that you and I had, the permanent bets that you and I enjoyed all throughout, and also for you to call me a friend. I truly am honored for a man of your stature, for you to be recognized as your friend. I truly will treasure that for the rest of my life. And once again, until we meet again, June, eventually we will follow you. But despite you not being here, we know that you're looking after all of us here on earth. Once again, farewell.
It's only been 11 years ago since I started working for Sir Jun. But for all the knowledge and teachings that he instilled in me, it feels like 30 years. I gained so much wisdom. He inspired me to do better at what I do. Strive to make my family have a better life. To top it most, he shared with me the values that I will forever hold. I was with him almost every day since December of 2009. I personally witnessed all his ups and downs, all his trials, literally or otherwise, challenges and triumphs. I've seen how he approached what life brings him, having the Lord as his stronghold. Sir Jappy had the biggest influence in my life. I remember he told me once during one of our Jappy Hour sessions, "Alam mo, Manny, para na kitang pamangkin, pamilya na tayo." But looking back, I found out that he lied to me. Because I was not like a nephew to him, I was like a son. Likewise, he's like a father to me. I cannot thank you enough, Sir Jun, for all the things that you've done for me and my family. I know that you're happy to see me grow personally and professionally. We are so blessed because of you. Lastly, I want to ask forgiveness for all my shortcomings. But God knows, I serve you the best way I know how. Miss na kita, sir. Pahinga ka na. Mahal ka namin.
If the kindness of Secretary Jun Yasay was already overwhelming for his friends and mere acquaintances, how much more for those who are truly connected to him? The kindness of Secretary Yasay will always be dearly remembered. Let's listen to a few more words from his friends.
He gave my sons jobs which started them on their career paths. He and I shared a love for cooking. He never missed to show his appreciation for something I prepared. That, in my eyes, is Jappy, a man who lived his life for others, so selfless and so humble. In the 30 years of having him in the family, not once did he make me feel bad. On the contrary, he was always a source of joy and love.
Let me quote you with a verse from Matthew chapter 5, verse 44. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Jappy was a perfect example of a true mark of a Christian. He wanted so much to serve the Filipino people in government. Since then, Jappy has forgiven his detractors. To him, what is more pleasing to God is what really matters. Jappy has surely earned his heavenly appointment where he will meet God face to face, and God in turn telling him, well done, good and faithful servant. We will miss you, Jappy.
My dearest Uncle Jun, I know you're laughing at me because this is the 10th time I'm trying to do this for you. But I'm going to do this for you because I knew you would have been doing this for me. I know you would have been the first one in line to record something for me because that's the type of person that you were. You were first in line. You were caring. You were lovable. You were fierce. Just all in all, a great person. I miss you dearly. Thank you so much for being there for me. Thank you so much for thinking about me and my brothers and my sisters. Thank you for always taking the time to make sure that we were okay. Thank you for taking that time just to be there for us as an uncle and as a second dad. I don't know what we would have done without those precious memories that you always gave us, those pictures that you would send us, just laughing. All those text messages, all the emails, all the Facebook messengers, just to check how we're doing. You were that way. That's how you were. I love you, Uncle Jun. I miss you dearly, but I know I'll see you again in heaven. I love you.
Thank you to the family of Sec Jun Yasay. With COVID-19 posing so many challenges and restrictions, the passing of Sec Jun Yasay has been very difficult, especially for the family. Let's listen to a few more words from his loved ones.
A pleasant day to everyone. Our family and relatives are truly saddened for the passing away of my dear brother Jun last June 12, 2020, and incidentally, that was Independence Day. We never thought that Brother Jun would be gone so fast, as we know that he was very well and in good physical condition in the past several months. However, he got sick lately with pneumonia that triggered him to experience body pains and weakness, and later he was already in coma. My brother Jun is already gone, but we have that assurance that he is now with the Lord forevermore. Let me quote a quotation from the Bible in John chapter 14, verse 1. It says, these are the words of Jesus Christ. Let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God, also believe in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, and I'll go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Thanks be to God for those comforting words that gives us that assurance that there is life after death. And finally, allow me to quote Psalms 23, which is my favorite chapter in the Bible. It says in Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercies shall follow me through all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Farewell.
I am Eunice, Jun's only sister from New Jersey. We grew up in a Christian home. Our parents taught us good values in life and shared the important things in life, and that is faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Jun was a loving, protective, and humorous brother and treated me like a princess. One day, our parents surprised us with a portable oven. We were so excited and started baking our favorites. As we were baking the cake, we stood in front of the oven, watching through the glass window until the cake was done. He took the cake out, then after, he turned the pan upside down in a plate. To our surprise, the cake won't fall off from the pan. So he tapped the top of the pan and half of the cake fell on the plate, but half of it got stuck in the pan. And he said, "Oh, we forgot to grease the pan." And we both started laughing while scraping half of the cake that was stuck and at the same time eating it. The half was on the plate looked funny, but the rest of the family ate it with no questions asked. We both got tired and stopped baking for a while. Jun was not perfect as a person, as his name sounds Perfecto, but he tries to be the best brother and a friend. He shared with me his challenges in life and ends our conversation with a beautiful advice, and that is to be humble and let God fight for our battles in life. I missed him so much, but because of the wonderful memories that I have with my brother, it surpassed my loneliness and sorrow. It is not easy to lose a brother, but because we share the strong faith, we will find the strength and comfort, because our God is the God of mercies and the God of all comforts. I still recall what Jun said in one of his speech. "I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." I would also thank friends and loved ones who helped Jun go through his ordeal. To Cecile and her two super boys, Nino and Richie. The doctors, the nurses, and all those behind the scene who stood with Jun up to the end of his life, and now he is starting a new eternal life with the Lord.
First and foremost, we'd like to send our condolences to Auntie Cecile, Oliver, Barbie, and Stephanie. We are deeply saddened by this great loss. And I also want to share a story of Uncle Jun and the type of man he was. I've had the honor of him walking me down the aisle last year when I married my husband. And one of the things I remember very clearly was him as I was walking to Uncle Jun before he walked me down the aisle. He looked at me and said, "I love you so much, and I am so honored that I get to do this and that he wouldn't miss it for the world." That's the type of man Uncle Jun was. He always made you feel like you were the only one in that room, even though there was hundreds of people there. So I just want to extend my love for him, my love for the family, and we mourn with you guys.
In my experience with Uncle Jun, I'd heard all about Uncle Jun from Aya. I'm an attorney. Uncle Jun is an attorney. I'm an elected official here, the mayor of the city of Whittier. He's obviously who he was in the Philippines. And when I saw him, I walked over to him. He walked over to me there in the narthex before I saw my bride. And we just kind of looked at each other and we kind of had a meeting of the minds. And I could see that he was a man of integrity. I could see he was a man who was a family man. And I said to him, I said, "I think I probably know what's on your mind. And that is, yes, I will take care of her, absolutely." I said, but I'd love to be able to sit down with you and just kind of talk about our shared political experiences, because I could see he was a wise man. Well, unfortunately, not going to have that chance, at least here on earth. But Uncle Jun's in heaven because of Jesus. And Aya's going to see him someday. I'm going to see him. Hopefully, we'll all see him someday in heaven. So we're just pleased to be able to be here to talk to you all and just tell you how much we appreciate Uncle Jun. God bless you all.
The Joaquins, the Reyeses, and the Yasays will surely miss Secretary Jun Yasay. Again, a few more words from the rest of his family.
Let me first start by thanking you all for being with us today to celebrate the life of my dad, Perfecto Yasay. For those of you who don't know me, I am Oli Yasay, his eldest son. I could probably sit here for hours sharing with you all the things that I admired and cherished about my dad. From his intelligence and wit, to his eloquent speaking, and even his corny dad jokes. But what I admired most about my dad was his unshakable faith in the Lord. Dad, every day of his life, did not express his faith in what he said, but expressed it in how he lived. A scripture that comes to mind that best describes my dad's faith is Psalm 73:26. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. No matter the challenge or circumstance that was set before him, even the cancer which he battled for many years, my dad knew this: he was not alone. God was always with him. Another scripture that comes to mind is Luke 22:42. Not my will, but yours be done. My dad based his life and aspirations not on selfish ambition, but on what the Lord God wanted for him, his life, and his family. This is who my dad was, a man of unshakable faith. So Dad, I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for all the life lessons you taught me through the years. But most importantly, I want to thank you for all the faith lessons as well. Because of the unshakable faith that you have always challenged me to have, I can confidently say that though I will miss you, while we are apart, we will be together again one day. So reserve that golf tee time for us, Dad, and make sure when I see you again, be ready to bring your A game, because you know I'm going to bring mine. I love you, Dad. I'll miss you.
Hi everyone. I would like to start off by saying thank you to everyone who's come here today. And for those who don't know me, my name is Nathan Yasay and I'm Lola Jabi's grandson. And today, we are here to remember him and every amazing thing he's done in his life. My grandfather was a very big part of my life. Not only was he my grandfather, but he was also my best friend. My grandfather taught me many things in life, and I feel that the most important thing that he has taught me is kindness. I believe that all of us are here today because my grandfather somehow touched all your lives in some way, shape, or form. I believe that he has showed all of you some form of kindness. When I first heard that his sickness had come back, I remember thinking and hoping and praying to myself that he would not yet pass, because I wanted to tell him that I loved him one last time. But now, looking back, I can see that hoping for that was selfish of me. And he never taught me to be selfish, but instead he taught me to be selfless. I know that my grandfather knew that I loved him very much, and the rest of his family loved him as well. He had done so much for our family and for everyone in general, and now I realize that it is time for him to rest. He's done everything he's wanted to do in his life, and we are all here to honor and remember his death, but I urge us all to honor and remember his life as well. Let us remember the kindness and selflessness that he showed us and to the world. Thank you.
Dad, it's been a few days since you've been gone, and it hasn't gotten any easier. 2 days before you passed away, I remember seeing you through FaceTime, and you were laying down helplessly with tubes and wires connected all over you. But you had one eye open, and I knew in that moment that you were able to hear my loud and piercing voice tell you how much I love you, and telling you that it would be okay if you wanted to rest, if the Lord was calling you home. I recognize now that having that moment with you was a gift, and I know that it was intended to comfort me for a later time. What I most admired about you was how genuinely you loved and just wanted to help people without any expectation or price to pay in return. I'm going to make sure that your memory and your legacy lives on. I'm going to keep telling the stories that you love to tell about the family who loved you so much. I won't forget the time that you held my hand and told me how brave I was before undergoing my transplant. I'm so grateful that you were blessed with 10 bonus years after your initial diagnosis with cancer, because it gave you the opportunity to live, to watch me live. Most of all, I will miss how often you told me how much you loved me. But in fact, you never really had to say those words because my heart already knew it. So now it's my turn. And even if I can't hold your hand, you should know that even as much as you are so revered in the eyes of your country and the people that you served, in spite of all the media attention, all the fanfare, in my eyes, you are always just my dad. And that was enough in itself to make me proud. You were the very best dad that one can ever have. And your biggest accomplishment and success in life was being a dad. You told me several times throughout my life that I shouldn't worry because God got me. Now that you're gone, and even if I'm in pain from missing you, you shouldn't worry because God got me. Dad, I love you so, so much. Rest in power, Perfecto.
Dad is always remembered for his kindness, his generosity, his humor, his friendliness, his smarts, the way he so eloquently spoke. But the one thing I'll always remember Dad for was how he welcomed me into his family. He never made me feel awkward or unwelcome. Even when asking his blessing to marry Barb's, he never made me feel uncomfortable. That was such an opportunity to do that during that time, but he just, the man and the person that he is, he never did that. He always treated me with respect, always made sure that I was taken care of, whether it was through food, drinks, or laughter. Dad had such a big, caring heart, and it really showed through his unconditional love for his family. Accepting me along with my family into his with such open arms is what I'll always remember him for. I'm glad you're no longer suffering, but also sad that, you're no longer here with us. So speaking not only for myself, but for my entire family, we're going to miss you, Dad.
I've been trying to find the right words to say as to what I will always remember most about Lolo and why he was so special. I feel like the number one thing that I will always and forever remember is, how much he valued his family and how much he loved each and every single one of us, because, all I can remember, just growing up are, all the family gatherings that he would pull all of us together from, Philippines, from Hawaii, and we'd go to Vancouver for skiing trips, to California, we'd take road trips to Disney, and we would just do, so many fun things together as such a huge, large group as a family. During all of that time, I just remember that he was always just full of so much charisma, and he's always just had such a positive attitude about everything, and everything was always just such a fun time with him. And his jokes are ones that I will miss especially the most. He always had something funny to say. But just having conversations with him about just life and everything and traveling and the future, it was always just great to talk to him and just get insight and advice on anything, and just like tell him what I'm doing in my life, and just to hear him say that he's proud of me and he's proud of us, and just hearing him constantly reminding us of how much he loved us all. I'm going to miss him so much, and I'm so sad he had to leave, but I'm glad and I hope that he knows that we all loved him very much.
Lolo is the most amazing person I've ever met. He's exactly who I want to be when I grow up, and everything he's done for his country, his family, and even just friends really inspires me. I'll never forget in the first grade, it was like dress up as your role model day. So I carried around his book and a pencil, and I wore a tie like he would wear. And I told everyone I was my grandpa. I always wanted to be just like him. Everything I do is always for him. I want to be as successful as he was. I want to follow his footsteps of law. If I could take anything back, I wish he was still here, just to see how proud we all loved to make him. I loved dancing, and he loved when I would dance. He loved watching me, he loved supporting, and I just loved knowing he was in the audience, just smiling and wishing he was dancing next to me. I'm gonna miss all his jokes and Jappy Hour, and him making everyone in the room feel so loved and welcome, and just like they were in our family. He literally, when he met my boyfriend, he made him feel like he was already part of the family and not an outsider, which was amazing. He always took care of us. He always loved to travel. I love to travel, and him just taking us to the most amazing destinations and just being so happy and wanting to do so many things despite his age. I will never get over when we all went to Disney and he wanted to ride every single roller coaster, and we were the ones like, I don't know, Lolo, maybe you should just like be careful, but he was down for it and he loved it. I'm just gonna miss him so much, and I love him more than anything. Everyone knows that he was my everything. I love you, Lolo.
I always wear a t-shirt, and the one time I didn't, you said you liked the shirt, so I wore it today. I didn't get to call you Dad for very long. Just December, I saw you for New Year's, and I asked Steph to marry me, and after she said yes, you told me that you could finally relax. And knowing how much you care for everyone, and especially Steph, it meant a lot to me that you trusted me to take care of her. Your favorite story to tell people after that was how I asked you if I could marry Steph on the way back from San Francisco. And you told people that you couldn't say no because I was your ride. You were always 100% yourself. If you were wearing a suit, talking to a million people, or you were at home playing the ukulele and singing and being with the family, you were just the same person. You gave everything you could to everyone, and you didn't expect anything back. I just hope that when I have kids that I could be half the dad you were to your kids. You'll always be in my thoughts, and I'll see you soon.
Sec Jun is surely loved, and he will be missed. A few more words from his loving family.
Tito Jappy, or Teets as I fondly called him, was the consummate underdog. He came from humble beginnings and rose to the top of his profession. Even Kipling would have been proud, because he literally walked with kings but never did lose his common touch. However, I'm not here to talk about his professional accolades, of which there are many. Instead, I'd like to share something more personal and give you a glimpse of what he was like at home. The Teets I knew was warm, passionate, full of life and love, and of course, brilliant. My fondest memories growing up were at the dining table, both at home and abroad. He loved to eat and drink, and he desperately wanted to share his enjoyment with us. Growing up, he would often say, "You try this. You'd love it. It's the best." His passion for food and wine rubbed off on me, and I tried to pass it down to my own children. But what I treasure most wasn't found on the dinner table. It was the conversations. We would talk about anything and everything for hours on end, or at least until his bedtime. He never seemed to run out of obscure trivia, especially about theology, science, and history. We would discuss and debate ideas and ideologies. We wouldn't always agree, but there was always plenty of room for dissenting opinions. But whatever the topic, at the end of it all, he would tell us he loved us and he would go to sleep happy. Teets also loved family. Now that may not appear particularly remarkable or something unique to him, but his love for family truly defined him. He relished being a lolo and was always game to support his grandchildren. You could ask any one of them who Lola's favorite was, and they would all raise their hand. Now that's a lolo. Philippians chapter 1 verse 3 says, "I thank my God upon every remembrance of you." Thank you for the memories, Teets. Cheers.
My name is Rowan and I'm the wife of Richie. There are too many stories to share, but one of my most favorite moments with Tito Jappy was back in 2005. I picked him up before 5 a.m. to meet with Neil and Roy Dumaran at the Kaneohe Bay docks. Tito even asked me to pass by 7-Eleven to grab some musubis and Arizona iced tea. I think that's all the food we had in the boat the entire time. But with Quincy, who was only 3-year-olds then, we ventured off to Kaneohe Bay to go fishing. It was not what I had expected at all. I had no idea that the Northern Pacific Ocean was choppy and treacherous. I was actually quite terrified. I wanted so badly to turn back, and I felt so irresponsible dragging 3-year-old little Quincy in such dangerous conditions. Poor little Quincy was so seasick, and I didn't bring any medicines. He would throw up and go to sleep, and then throw up and then go to sleep the whole day. Yeah, we were out for 12 hours. But Tito Jappy, Roy, and Neil were having so much fun. Tito Jappy was truly in his element. Every so often he would look at me with a reassuring smile or a word or two, "It's okay, we'll be okay." That was comforting. It was enough. It made me feel safe, even coming from someone who didn't know how to swim. But that was Tito Jappy. Be it driving in zero visibility in a snowstorm in Big Bear or a turbulent and raging boat ride in Kaneohe, he had this presence and reassurance that made me feel safe. And you know what? Every moment with him was happy. He made the most mundane activity feel like an adventure. There were always smiles and treasured moments. Tito Jappy, you welcomed me into this family unconditionally. You loved Richie, myself, Quincy, and Maxwell like your very own. I always felt your warmth and love every single time you were around. Your hugs and I love yous were truly genuine and sincere. You taught me in so many ways, not just by words, but by deeds and by example. You are a man of principle and integrity. I would have wanted you in my life a little longer. I would have wanted more adventures, more long talks, more laughter, more jokes, more Jappy hours, more hugs and more I love yous. But I'll take the 26 years God blessed me with you in my life, for each moment with you is a memory worth cherishing. It is truly an honor to be your daughter-in-law. You may no longer be with us physically, but you will be in my heart forever. I love you, Tito. Mahalo. Salamat gyud kaayo. It is never goodbye, but until we meet again. Aloha, ahuiho.
My name is Quincy Reyes, the son of Richie and Rowena, and proud grandson of Lolo Jappy. I'd like to thank you all for the time you spent to honor my grandfather's life. Even if we were never related by blood, He was an outstanding grandfather figure in my life. I can look back and think of the ways he's been able to make my life and the lives of others better. And yet I'm here today, at a loss for words, struggling to find a way to tell the story of the 18.5 years I had with Lola Jappy. It's not that I don't remember what happened. It's a difficult task to sum up the great legacy of love and service he left behind. But after these 9 days, I realized what's most important. I should learn to live a Jappier life. Remembering to take the afternoon naps and to always sleep early. Being open to all the changes and challenges life may bring. And of course, celebrating Jappy Hour with dear family and friends.
Hello, my name is Maxwell, and I'm the son of Richie and Rowena Reyes. I would usually meet with Lola Jappy on Sundays for Sunday lunches or dinners. Simply being in his presence could and would make your day so much better. There was never a dull moment when we were with him. Unfortunately, my time with him was short, for he would always leave ahead to sleep early. He and Lola Cecile would always take me in when there was no one at home to watch me. I will always cherish the moments and meals we had together, Lola Jappy. Dear Lola Jappy, you spoke well, you lived well, and now you shall rest well. Love, Maxwell.
If you know my dad, you know his list of achievements is a mile long. He's rubbed elbows with the world's greatest leaders, held high-level positions in the public sector, published 2 books, and has taken on his fair share of Goliaths. Ever since I was a little girl, I would sit at his desk and say that I wanted to be just like him. As I was going through our family albums this past week, seeing my dad's life summed up in a series of photos, from his campaigns for senator and vice president to our family Christmases and road trips, I began to think about what really defined my dad. He had always been my greatest role model, my hero, the subject of all my essays in school when asked to write about the person we looked up to the most. He was former SEC chairman and Secretary of Foreign Affairs, but these titles define only the slightest bit of who he was as a person. You always knew my dad was awake, because you'd hear his booming voice sing songs as he walked around the house. He'd join us at the breakfast table, enthusiastically saying good morning to his Chell and Stefanini. We'd go to the mall together as a family, and he would greet each person he made eye contact with as if they were a dear friend, much to mine and my mom's confusion. When we asked him who it was, he would reply with the biggest smile, "I have no idea." We never doubted his love for us. I never wondered if my dad loved me or my mom or my siblings because he always let me know. He was constantly saying it and constantly showing it, even in the smallest of ways. One of our last trips together was a trip to Positano, Italy, and I was upset as I hadn't gotten my Instagram photo in front of the iconic, colorful building because we kept stopping and getting distracted along the way. When I realized the sun was setting, I grumbled in frustration that I'd take the photo myself and ran up the steep mountainside. To my surprise, he ran after me, following me all the way up, all because he wanted to make sure that I had my picture, staying with me, taking photo after photo, until I was certain I had the perfect shot. This was my father's legacy, his warmth, the way he could light up any room with the most genuine smile, his unwavering faith. When my mom and I thought we wouldn't be able to handle the obstacle in front of us, he always maintained his composure. Never showing any signs of resentment, of anger, of frustration, never losing trust in the Lord's plan for us. And the way he always reminded the people he loved just how much he loved them. This is my dad, and just like I said as a little girl, I will continue to live every day trying to be just like him.
Deeds, for many, you're a patriot, known for your integrity. You're a man who never forgets to wear a smile, no matter how heavy your burden is. A true diplomat who makes everyone feel relaxed. I've witnessed how many OFWs approach you wherever we go, requesting for selfies, and you never refused. You even engaged them in conversations, asking them which province they are from and speaking to them in their dialect. But for me, Tits, you are a true mentor who is patient to share whatever knowledge you have learned from years of hardships and self-perseverance. I may have been a difficult child, but you never gave up on me. Even when I wrecked your prized possession, your Mercedes-Benz, that I took out for a joyride. Dietz, you're a second father to me, and you welcomed Richie and I, your stepsons, and treated us all as your own children. Thank you for the honor of being your trusted lieutenant, something that I will forever cherish because I was able to pick your brilliant mind. I enjoyed the many hours talking to you, especially during our Jappy hours, picking your brains on political issues, national and international. You had so much stock knowledge about finance, law, and practical applications that made my perspective that much wider. When you left us, I lost my most passionate encourager. You always referred to me as your best bet. Even now that you're gone, I will keep this in my heart, that you've always believed in me. It's my boss. You also taught me about compassion. Even to the end, you showed how you were still considerate, allowing Mom to celebrate her birthday on June 11, waiting for Steph to come home, and choosing to pass away on June 12, Philippine Independence Day. You may have left us physically, but I know I've gained another champion in heaven. I know I can still talk to you, and you will listen, and still counsel, and take care of me. And I can still hear you saying to me, yo, I love you. I love you more, Dietz.
We're on the road. We move from place to place. And oftentimes when I'm about to call it home, we'd have to move along. Life is a constant change. The friends we know, we meet along the way. Too soon the times we share form part of yesterday. 'Cause life's a constant change and nothing stays the same. Oh no. Clouds that move across the skies are changing form before our very eyes. Why couldn't we keep time from moving on? Hold on to all the years before this moment's gone. Why must we live the days at such a frightening pace? We're all like clouds that move across the skies and changing form before our very eyes.
I am a Filipino. I have always been a Filipino. And I have never been a U.S. citizen. I continue to be a Filipino. So that's the end of the story.
Have we outgrown our Peter Pans and wings? We've simply grown too old for tales of knights and kings. 'Cause life's a constant change and nothing stays the same. Oh no.
Thank you and good day.